Welcome back to my channel. I'm glad to have you here. Today I have 12 healthy eating recommendations that you're going to want to know all about, because no matter what kind of a diet or eating plan you're on, or even if you are in maintenance mode from having taken Ozempic or Wegovy or any of the GLP-1 medications, this is going to be your go-to plan. Now, I've saved the most interesting ones and the most helpful three to the very end. So stick with me to the very end and learn what you can do to permanently lose weight. Number one on the list of 12 is to take just 3 to 4 minutes a week and plan out your menu. It doesn't matter what day you eat what food, but you need to plan this ahead. Just make a list. We're going to have tacos, spaghetti, chili, tuna sandwiches, whatever it is. Jot down what you're going to have for your meals for the week. You plan ahead because you know if you're going to go out to dinner one night, then you don't need to plan for that night. Or if you're going to make enough of something like lasagna that can last you 2 nights, then plan that for 2 nights. This is huge. This is a huge part in setting yourself up for success. It only takes 3 to 4 minutes once a week. Just jot it down. What are you going to have? And then you're going to make your grocery list according to what you need to fix those meals. That's it. That's the first step. One and done. 2, the second thing you're going to want to do after you've made that list and you've made the grocery list, you're going to go do the shopping. And when you get home, you're going to want to do batch cooking and food prep for the whole week. Just get it done, get it out of the way, and then you are off the hook for the entire week. It's kind of like doing laundry. You know, you're not going to just wash one shirt at a time because you need to wear a shirt tomorrow. You're going to do it all at once. Batch cook, food prep. If you're going to have like vegetables that you want to snack on, wash them, slice them, put them in little bags with the right serving size so they are ready to grab and go. Same thing with hard-boiled eggs. If that's on your list of things to have for your snack during the week, boil them ahead of time, peel them ahead of time, put them 2 to a bag if that's what you're having as 2. Get everything as ready as you can, and you are off the hook for the rest of the week. The third thing you're going to want to do on this list of 12 is you're going to establish a routine for yourself. Most of the time when I work with clients, I have them go on a routine of 3 meals, 2 snacks every day with protein every single time. If you're not a breakfast eater, you might want to switch that to 2 meals and 2 snacks. Whatever works for you. But here's the thing. Every meal and every snack, you want to make sure that you are including ample protein, because that's going to stabilize your blood sugar. When you have protein in every meal and every snack, your blood sugar is going to be stable, and that will all but eliminate your cravings for sweets. Did you know that? One of the reasons we have cravings for sweets is because our blood sugar drops. The brain uses glucose to function, and when we eat a lot of food that's heavy carbs or sweets, we get a real boost in blood sugar, and the brain likes that. But then it crashes, and the brain says, holy smokes, I need some more of that glucose to function right, and it will make you crave sweets. So by making sure that you have ample protein in every meal and every snack, you're going to stabilize that blood sugar, and you're going to all but eliminate those cravings for sweets. Next on the agenda for your successful weight loss is, I think this is an old Weight Watchers trick, but it works. Use a smaller plate, just one of those little saucers. We like to look at a full plate of food when we eat. And if we are just having single-size servings, which is plenty of food for us, it can look like you have almost an empty plate, and then you're going to feel deprived. So trick your brain into thinking it's got a full plate of food, and it's really not a trick, because you do have a full plate of food. You're just using a smaller plate. 1 serving of vegetables, 1 serving of protein, 1 serving of starch, or whatever your plan is. This is not about telling you that you're on a diet or to eat this or eat that. You know what healthy eating means. You know how to put together a healthy meal. This is a really good way for you to get a grip on portion size. So use that smaller size plate. and that will help you enormously. Next on the agenda is to stay away from foods that are made of refined flours and sugars, and that includes things with a lot of white rice as well. These are so finely refined. That's a redundancy right there. It's almost like your body doesn't even have to do a darn thing to process these foods. You just put it in and it's just like, ooh, it's all ready for storage right into those fat cells. And you probably know that eating a lot of heavily processed foods with flours and sugars really spikes that blood sugar. And as I just told you, the goal here is to stabilize the blood sugar. So just stay away from any foods made of refined flours and sugars and things with white rice in them. You know, you can replace a lot of starchy foods like potatoes with cauliflower. You can replace white rice with brown rice. And because you're going to be eating just normal size servings, it's going to be easy for you to enjoy every single bite. And remember, I'm saving the most important 3 tips out of this 12 to the very end. So stay tuned. We're almost there. Next on the agenda is kind of a stretch for a lot of people, but it's a really good habit to get into. And this is to get into the habit of no longer eating anything at all between the end of dinner and bedtime. It just doesn't feel good to go to bed with a full belly and you're laying there and you're bloated and your digestive system wants you to go to sleep. So it just kind of stops and everything sits there. It's uncomfortable and it promotes weight gain. I want you to get into the habit of knowing that at the end of your dinner, at your evening meal, that you have had all the nutrition you need for the day. And you really have, because if you look back upon the day, you had 3 meals and 2 snacks with protein every single time. Maybe 2 meals and 2 snacks, whatever your plan is. But by the time you finish dinner, you don't need any more food. You don't need any more nutrition. You are done. You are good to go. And you've done a great job. So no more food between the end of dinner and bedtime. I especially like this next step because it's all about reframing. I just told you not to eat anything between dinner and bedtime, but sometimes you get hungry, especially if you're in the habit of snacking. You know, the day is done, dishes are done, kids are in bed, it's quiet, it's your time, you're watching the TV or doing whatever, and it's, you know, you're off duty. You're going to have some ice cream or some chips or whatever, something that you should not be having if you're wanting to lose weight. So here's the deal. Knowing at the end of that dinner, at that evening meal, that you have had all the nutrition you could possibly need for the day, here's what I want you to do. If you feel that sensation of hunger in your belly, or you have that idea of wanting to eat, I want you to reframe that. And I want you to realize, and I want you to start telling yourself that this is what it feels like to lose weight. Have you ever thought about what that feels like to lose weight? We all certainly know what it feels like to gain weight, to feel bloated and overstuffed and uncomfortable, right? We felt that a lot of times. Well, when you are sitting there watching TV at the end of the night and you've already had 3 meals, 2 snacks with protein every time, and you're noticing a little sensation in your belly, that's all it is. It is a sensation, and it is the sensation of losing weight. Just imagine how much good you're doing by going to bed at night with an almost empty stomach. That's what it feels like to lose weight. And you know what? You may very, very well wake up in the morning weighing just a little bit less than you did the day before. Certainly no more, as long as you are managing to enjoy those 3 meals, 2 snacks, protein every time, and you are free from any thought or desire to eat anything else between dinner and bedtime. It's just a sensation. That's what it feels like to lose weight. Once you are eating protein in every meal and every snack, your blood sugar will be leveled out and you will be noticing much less cravings than you used to have. However, if you are still having a craving for something, and sometimes we do because we're watching TV and they come across the TV, but those food ads, and the brain says, oh, I like that. I'd like some of that. And then you start thinking in those terms. So you start craving something. Here's what I want you to do. When you find that you're craving something, I want you to just stop for a moment. I want you to look back on the day at all that you've eaten, assure yourself that you've had all the nutrition that you need for the day. And then I want you to take in a really deep breath, and I want you to hold it and then gently release. And knowing that as you release that breath, you are releasing any thought or desire to eat anything else for the day. Because here's what happens when we take a deep breath and we hold it, it actually pushes in on the diaphragm. Behind the diaphragm is the nervous system, and specifically the parasympathetic nervous system. So when you take a breath and you hold it, you put pressure on that parasympathetic nervous system. It actually releases all those feel-good chemicals from your brain. This is science. I'm not just making this up and saying, oh, this is a great idea, woo woo, just take a breath and hold it and you'll feel better. Take a breath and hold it. You will actually feel better. You will actually trigger the release of those feel-good chemicals from your brain. And as you exhale, you will release that craving. Maybe you need to take a second breath and hold it and then release that. Do that 2, 3, 4 times if you want. But do that every single time you have a craving. And pretty soon, those cravings will be a thing of the past. How's your water intake? Drinking water all throughout the day is really important. You get more value from drinking a little bit of water every 30 to 45 minutes than you do at drinking a lot of water at the end of the day. Spread it out. That is what is going to do the best for you. So if a lot of people they do really well with drinking water all day. I see them carrying around their little water jugs everywhere they go. And if that's you and you're doing fine with your water consumption, then you can just skip this one and head on to the next part. But if you need to get into the habit of drinking water, set a timer on your watch. And here's something that's kind of fun to do. If you have a water bottle or just one of these things that I save all of these because why not? And then I just refill them and put them in my fridge. Let's say I want to drink 3 of these in a day. So I will take 3 hair bands and put that on the bottom. And every time I finish one of these, I'm going to move that hairband from the bottom to the top because that gives me a really good way to measure my progress, to be accountable for my progress, and to get into the habit of drinking a little bit of water every 30 to 45 minutes all through the day. So keep that water jug with you. If you have a variety of water jugs and you're not taking the same one with you everywhere you go, put those hairbands around the wrist. And every time you finish a bottle of water, take one of those bands from this side and put it on this side. That's a really great visual reminder. You're putzing around and doing your thing for the day, and you look down and you see those, and you're like, woo, I'm gonna drink some water. Get your water in. And in the same vein, I want to talk about this idea of spreading things out through the day. You could take all of that food you eat in 3 meals and 2 snacks, and if you lumped it in together and ate it all at once, you would have a completely different result with your weight loss than you do by spreading it out throughout the day. There's a lot of scientific research supporting that. And besides, it's more fun to eat all day than it is just one time at the end of the day, right? Now for the final 3. These are my favorite ones because these tips these fall in the category of conscious eating skills. And this is a huge, huge deal. If I could only give you 3 tips to follow, these might be it because they are just amazing. Number 1, when you're eating, do nothing but eat. No TV, no computers, no books, no magazines, and no excessive talking. Why? Because I want you to be consciously aware of and engaged in the eating process. I want you to thoroughly enjoy every single bite. The flavors, the textures, the aromas. And if you're watching TV or you're working on the computer or you're reading something, you are not paying attention to the enjoyment of eating this food. You're just eating food out of habit at that point. And then you run out and you're like, oh, dang it, it's gone. And I want some more because you didn't get the psychological satisfaction of enjoying your food. So that is hugely important. Now, I get a lot of eye rolls when I tell my clients this part, especially the no TV part. Seems like we have evolved into a culture of people who watch TV while we eat a lot of times. So just do this for a few weeks until you are in the habit of following all these steps, and then see if you can motivate back to eating in front of the TV and maintain these healthy eating recommendations. But for starters, when you eat, do nothing but eat. Give yourself the opportunity to thoroughly enjoy this act of eating, and you'll find it easy to eat a whole lot less. The second conscious eating strategy, it's not really all that profound, and it might be familiar to you, and it is this. Count how many times you chew each bite. Now, it doesn't matter how many times you chew each bite. I am not saying chew every piece of meat 35 times, vegetables 28 times. No, it's not about that at all. I just want you to start counting how many times you're chewing, only because I want you to be consciously aware of the fact that you're actually eating something. So many times we start eating and then we're talking and we're doing other things and we're not really paying attention to it. So this is just another really good way to train your brain to be consciously aware of the fact that you are eating. This is a special time of day, and you get to do it 5 times because you're having 3 meals, 2 snacks, protein every time. When you eat, you do nothing but eat. You count how many times you chew. If you want to, you don't have to do that one, but it's very helpful. And are you ready for the very last one? This is the best tip I can give anybody, and it's this. When you're eating, every time you take a bite of something, set down your spoon or your fork, your sandwich, your taco, whatever it is you're eating. After you take a bite, put down what's in your hands. Sit back for a moment and just be one with the food. You will thoroughly enjoy it. Because if we don't get the psychological satisfaction of eating our food, we will eat more in an attempt to get that satisfaction. Now, here's an interesting tidbit for you as well. Every time you start to eat, there's a timer that starts going off in your brain. It's a very subtle little timer, but after about 25 or 30 minutes, your brain releases a chemical that says, you've had enough, time to stop. It's a very subtle whisper. And when you're chowing down and watching football and talking to people and drinking a beer or doing whatever you do, even driving in your car, you are not paying attention, and you miss that little message that says, stop, you're full, you've had plenty to eat. So give yourself the opportunity to do that. Remember, this is huge. Every time you take a bite, put down whatever you have in your hand in between bites. It slows down the eating process. It gives you the opportunity to become psychologically and emotionally satisfied with the food you're eating. And just think about it. If that timer goes off after 25 minutes that says you're full, and you really will, when you notice it, you'll be like, oh, that was weird. It's almost like this little whisper. And you'll be like, yeah, I am content. Could I eat more? Oh, heck yeah, we could always just stuff ourselves until we pop, right? That's not the goal here. We just want to eat until we're satisfied. So if you're taking a bite, you're putting down what's in your hand in between bites, you're slowing down that eating process. By the time that timer goes off and you get that message after 25 minutes, you can have this many calories in your belly, or you can have this many calories in your belly. It's up to you. These are the 12 healthy eating recommendations that I give to all of my weight loss clients. So I'm kind of spilling the beans here. I'm giving you my secrets, but these will work for you. And if you find that you are having any resistance over any of these, that's a big clue right there. And that is something that you want to look at, because that resistance is what it could be contributing to your inability to lose weight and keep it off permanently. So give it a shot. I wish you the best of luck. If I can help you with anything, you know how to get a hold of me. Happy eating.